There's a creator going viral right now under the name Clavicular, tied to the Looksmaxing trend, where young men are being pulled toward extreme ways of changing how they look, even using blunt force on their own faces. It's being disguised as discipline. It's not. It's a major warning sign, because when someone feels the need to force change like that, it usually means that something deeper is not working. That's not discipline. That's dysregulation. And when you understand the brain is driving it, the pattern becomes so obvious. This video is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. If you're ready to quit porn and reclaim your life mentally and physically, go over to drtrishleigh.com/book. If you've seen this Looksmaxing content, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Videos telling young men to fix themselves, to change how they look, to force results, to take control, no matter what it takes. He's even telling young men to take testosterone, smash their faces with hammers to build a strong jawline. He talks about doing meth to stay lean. But underneath all of it is one core belief that how you look matters more than anything else. That if you can just change your appearance, everything else will fall into place. Respect, confidence, control. And maybe when you listen to a good-looking, viral, successful guy, it might feel like it makes sense. But it's when your internal state is off that you look for something external to fix it. Something visible, something immediate, something you can control. So it escalates to more extreme solutions. No patience, no process, just push harder, do more, force change. It looks like discipline. But when you look at it at the level of the brain, it tells a completely different story, because extreme behavior doesn't come from strength. It comes from neurological dysregulation. When the system that drives motivation and reward is off, your brain stops responding to normal effort. Normal progress doesn't feel like enough anymore, so it starts chasing intensity, faster change, bigger results, more control. And that's when behavior starts to escalate. Not because someone is strong, but because the system underneath is not stable. Your brain runs on a system that involves dopamine, and dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's about motivation. It's about reward. It's about what your brain expects next. When that system is balanced, effort feels meaningful. It's moving you towards progress that feels really rewarding in your real life, and you can stay engaged. But when it's dysregulated, everything shifts. Your brain raises the threshold for what feels like enough, and it lowers your sensitivity to everything else. It's like driving 90 miles per hour with your music turned all the way up. Everything is loud, everything is fast, everything feels intense. Now, you slow it down. You drop to 30, you turn the music down. It feels off. It feels too quiet, too slow. So what do? You turn it back up. Okay, so whether this Looksmaxing trend makes sense to you or it sounds completely wild, it's the same system. The same system that pulls people into constant scrolling, high stimulation content, excessive porn use, compulsive habits. Not because people want it, but because their brain is trying to feel something again. When your baseline drops, normal effort feels weak, progress feels slow, and real connection feels flat. So the brain looks for something stronger, more stimulation, more intensity, more immediate reward. And for some people, that shows up as extreme external behavior. For others, it shows up in private patterns, and this is where it becomes dangerous. If the system isn't fixed, the behavior keeps escalating because the brain keeps chasing a signal that isn't there. This Looksmaxing trend isn't self-improvement. It's compensation. It's what happens when the system driving motivation and reward is out of balance. Because dysregulation doesn't stay contained, guess what happens? It spreads. It affects your focus, your drive, your ability to stay engaged, and eventually it affects your response system, the way your brain connects effort to reward to activation. So now you're trying harder, but getting less response. That's not a willpower issue. That's a signal issue. That car you were driving at high speed with the music cranked up, engine pushed to the max, RPMs high, you can run it like that for a while, but eventually the system starts to break down. Not all at once, but subtly. Performance drops, response slows, things don't work the way they used to. That's power failure. And this is exactly what I see in my clients around the world. They're high performers, they're driven men, people who are doing everything right, but the system underneath isn't responding anymore. So what happens is focus slips, drive drops, response fades. They're pushing harder and harder and getting less back. And at that point, it's not about more effort. It's about understanding what your brain is actually doing, how it's actually functioning and performing. Because once you can see the pattern, then you can retrain it. That's where something like neurofeedback within my neuromodulation program comes in. Not as a quick fix, but as a way to stabilize the system. Because you're not trying to push the engine harder anymore. You're trying to stabilize it so it actually works long term. If you're in this pattern and you want to break it, go to drtrishleigh.com. Start with a private meeting with me, and if you're ready, let's get your brain mapped. Because once you see what your brain is doing, then you can change it, my friend. Okay, remember, until next time, control your brain or it will control you. I'll see you then.